Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep, chapter 1135, Friends Cups.
Yeah, big chapter this week.
It is. And we are finally on Elbaf, the island of giants. So many mysteries to uncover.
Definitely. But first, what really strikes me is how we see the Straw Hats' past actions already having these ripple effects. Like, it's not just some random stop,
It's not just like, oh, there's an island, let's go there. This is Elbaf. It's like finally seeing something we've only heard whispers about.
Right. All that lore, the history, it's all coming to life.
And you see it right away, like with that visit to the owl library, Biblo, that giant owl with his devil fruit power.
The Iku no Mi, the Grow fruit. At first I thought, okay, he can enlarge books. That's kind of neat. But then it hit me.
Right. Think about it. Chopper all of a sudden is going to have access to, like, giant-sized medical texts.
Exactly. It's like a whole new world of medical knowledge opens up. What if giants have totally unique medical needs, things humans never even knew about?
Giant diseases, giant cures. Who knows what Chopper could learn there?
It's mind-blowing. Imagine the historical records, the battle strategies, all that stuff hidden in giant books. It's gotta be there.
I know. It makes me wonder if Robin will end up doing some research there too. She always finds the most interesting historical connections.
Oh, for sure. But Elbaf isn't all about ancient knowledge, right? We also get to see their culture, which seems to be having a bit of an identity crisis.
Right. Like with Colin, the half-giant kid who attacks Luffy. Talk about an entrance.
Yeah, he comes out swinging. And it's interesting, right? He's so different from the older giants. He's all about fighting, no hesitation.
He's got that fire. It's like those warrior stories are still so ingrained in their culture. Like, even though the world's changing, some still cling to that image of a giant warrior.
And then you find out Colin's dad is a human, a former pirate, no less. It adds another layer to things, right?
It's wild. Elbaf might seem isolated, but even they're not immune to outside influence. I mean, it makes you think about how much the island must have changed over the years.
Oh, absolutely. And the Straw Hats, they're definitely going to be a part of that change.
For sure. Speaking of them, they kind of split up in this chapter, each one off doing their own thing. Makes me think Oda's setting up multiple storylines.
Oh, yeah. Definitely feels intentional. Like he's weaving a tapestry, and we only see a few threads at a time.
Okay, so we've got Robin. She might stay at the library with Sol, like you were saying. Research, maybe. Who knows what she'll find. And then Lilith and Bonnie off to secure residency permits.
Yeah.
Why we need those, right? Unless
they're planning to stay for a while. It feels important, like there's something bigger going on.
Yeah. And Frankie, my gosh, the guy's obsessed with shipbuilding. And now he's practically drooling over the treasure tree at him. This is the stuff that built Pluton, one of the ancient weapons.
What if
he
turns the secrets, right? The strength, the durability. Think what he could do with the Sunny. It could be a huge upgrade.
It makes those quiet moments in the chapter feel just as important as the action-packed ones. But speaking of action, we can't forget about those mysterious hooded figures who show up at Orist Castle looking for Loki.
Yeah, their arrival. It's like instant tension. They're shrouded in secrecy, and then they just take out that giant guard, no problem.
Like they're not messing around. And that power, whatever they used, it was like some kind of projectile. We've never seen anything like that. Who are these guys? Are they connected to the world government? Another pirate crew?
It's such a great mystery, and it makes you question, is Elbaf really as peaceful as it seems?
Right. We go from exploring this giant culture, almost whimsical in a way, to this sudden threat, like something lurking in the shadows.
And then the chapter's title, Friends Cups. It feels ironic now, doesn't it?
Totally. Because on one hand, you've got the Straw Hats being honored at this giant feast. They're raising cups with Stanson. Remember him? The giant they saved from slavery back on Saboti.
Yeah, it's heartwarming, You see how their actions have consequences. They made a real friend that day.
And it reminds you that they make enemies too. Not everyone is going to be happy to see the Straw Hats, especially on an island with its own internal conflicts.
Right. And then, bam, we're introduced to Jarul, the oldest giant in the world. And he's got a sword stuck in his helmet.
What? Talk about a cliffhanger. I mean, it's like Oda's telling us, don't get too comfortable. Things are about to get crazy.
Seriously. The chapter ends, and you're just left with so many questions. Who attacked Jarul? Is it connected to those hooded figures? And what's going to happen next?
It's a wild ride.
It is. This Elbaf arc is just getting started, and I have a feeling we're in for a wild ride.
You know what gets me about that whole Jarul thing?
What's that?
That sword, it went through his helmet. Think about the strength that would take. This wasn't just some random attack.
Right, like someone wanted to make a statement.
Exactly, almost like a warning shot, Not just to Jarul, but to the whole island, maybe even the Straw Hats.
Whoa. You think?
Well, think about it. Jirul's the oldest giant in the world, right? He's probably seen centuries of Elbaf history. He's like a living library.
Yeah. So what if this wasn't just physical? What if they were trying to silence him? Keep him from sharing some secret?
Okay, now that's interesting. What kind of secret could he have that would make him a target?
Right. And it brings us back to those hooded figures, remember? They're looking for Loki.
Yeah, the mischievous prince. Always up to something.
Exactly. Could Jirul's injury and the search for Loki be connected somehow?
Loki. Is he a pawn in all this? Or maybe he's the one pulling the strings. He's so unpredictable. Who knows what he's up to?
And don't forget, the Straw Hats have a history with Loki too. They met him back on Little Garden.
Oh yeah. It wasn't exactly a friendly encounter either.
So could that be why they're involved now? Maybe their past is catching up to them again.
Makes you wonder if this whole Elbaf trip is more than just exploring a new island. What if it's about confronting those unresolved issues from their past?
Like Otis saying, hey, remember that thing you did way back when? Well, guess what? It matters.
Right. It's like everything they do has consequences, even on an island of giants.
Yeah, they can't escape their past, no matter how far they sail.
And speaking of not escaping, Colin. He's clearly got a thing for Luffy, but it seems a little, I don't know, intense.
Yeah, there's a fine line between admiration and obsession, right? And I'm not sure Colin knows where that line is.
Yeah, I'm worried his impulsiveness is going to cause trouble.
Yeah.
Especially with all this tension on the island. Like, what if he tries to help Luffy, but ends up making things worse?
Oh, absolutely. He could be the spark that ignites the whole thing. It's like having a wild card in a poker game. You never know how it's going to play out.
And what about the other Straw Hats? They're all off doing their own thing. How's that going to fit into all this?
Right. Like Robin, if she's digging through Elbaf's archives, she's bound to find something important.
She always does.
Yeah.
Robin's research always uncovers some crucial information, something that connects to the bigger picture.
And Frankie, with his fascination for the treasure tree atom, what if he figures out how to make the Sunny even stronger? Think about the implications.
Right. They'll be ready for anything?
Exactly. It's like every Straw Hat is playing their part, even if we don't see how it all connects yet. Oda's a master at that, making every little thing matter.
It's like we're watching this grand play, and we only get a few glimpses behind the curtain.
And that's what makes it so exciting. We're constantly guessing, trying to figure out what's going to happen next.
Okay, but let's talk about Elbaf itself. This chapter really reveals a lot about the island, both its culture and those internal conflicts.
Oh, yeah. It's like they're at a crossroads, trying to balance their warrior past with this desire for peace. But the younger generation, they seem to be struggling with that.
Like they're caught between tradition and progress.
Yeah, and the arrival of outsiders, like the Straw Hats, it's only adding to that tension. Makes you wonder if Elbaf can really stay peaceful in a world that's constantly changing.
Right. Can they hold on to their traditions, or will they be forced to adapt?
It's the big question, isn't it? And how will the Straw Hats influence that? Will they help Elbaf find a new path, or will they get caught in the crossfire?
So many possibilities. So much to think about.
This arc is shaping up to be something special.
You know, it makes you think all this stuff about Elbaf. It's not just about giants and their culture.
Right. There's got to be something more.
Yeah, like their place in the world. I mean, we know Elbaf has those amazing resources, like the treasure tree atom.
Oh, yeah. The stuff legends are made of.
Exactly. So could that make them a target? What if the world government or some other powerful force wants to control those resources?
It's totally possible. I mean, this is One Piece. Everyone's after power, right? Devil fruits, ancient weapons, you name it.
And now we've got these hooded figures lurking around. Who knows what they're really after?
Right. What if they're not just looking for Loki? What if they're scouting out Elbaf, testing the defenses, looking for weaknesses?
Like they're working for someone even bigger, someone with even grander ambitions.
That's a scary thought. And think about what that means for the Straw Hats.
Right. They're already kind of stuck in the middle of everything.
Yeah, they've made friends, they've made enemies. What if Elbaf becomes a battleground? They can't just sit on the sidelines.
They'll have to choose a side or fight to protect their friends. It's a lot of responsibility for a crew that just wants to find the one piece.
I know, right? It's like their journey is constantly intersecting with these massive events, shaping the world around them.
And it shows you just how complex this world is. It's not just about treasure and adventure. It's about politics, culture, morals.
Exactly. The Straw Hats are constantly learning, growing, not just as fighters, but as people.
Okay, but let's get down to it. What do you think happens next? Any predictions?
Well, things are definitely going to heat up, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. We've got so many mysteries to solve. Who are those hooded figures? What happened to Jarul? And what's Loki's role in all of this?
Right, it's all connected somehow. And with the Straw Hats involved, anything can happen.
It's like all these threads are going to come together, and then boom, a huge clash is coming.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some unexpected alliances or betrayals.
Ooh, good point. Elbaf is in a state of flux. Everyone's got their own agenda.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe we'll meet some new characters too. Elbaf is full of giants, some good, some bad.
And let's not forget about the Straw Hats themselves. They're each dealing with their own stuff too, like Usopp. He's in awe of the giants. Zoro, he's itching for a good fight. And Sanji, well, let's just say a certain giant princess might catch his eye.
Yeah, who knows what kind of trouble that'll lead to.
Huh. But it's those personal moments that make One Piece so special, those little bits of humor and heart.
It's what keeps us coming back, the characters, their relationships, their dreams.
So final thoughts, anything our listeners should keep in mind as this arc unfolds?
Pay attention to the details, even the small ones. They often hold the key to the bigger mysteries. And remember, in One Piece, even a simple toast between friends can be the start of an incredible adventure.
Well said. It's been another great deep dive, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Until then, keep those theories coming. And remember, adventure awaits on every page.